When you come into the world, we take on the identity of those who are more powerful than us. What we're looking for is a kind of person who is looking for meaning. What's the meaning of life? Why am I here?
Well, hello, everybody. I'm Alan Masters. And last week I said, I don't want to be here. And I watched the talk. And I realized the key word of that whole thing was want. And I said that, but I don't know that actually people grasped that the way I had hoped that they would. So I want to start with that. Start with the end in mind, I guess you might say. The want that I was talking about is the want inside of me that is the worldly want. And as I'm learning how to put that aside for what I know to be right, whether I want it or not, and of course I should want to be right and do what's right, but there's something else inside of me that also wants what it wants. So today, I was taking a shower, and in the morning usually I'm very quiet, and I think to myself, what am I going to talk about today? And I took a shower, and I stood there in the shower, and I said, I'm just a man. I'm just a man. There's so much that Jesus did that I don't know that I could do because I'm just a man. And then God put into my heart the knowing, the wordless words, I made you in my image. And then I was like, wow. Because I think all men and women think, I'm just this human flesh. I'm just a man. But God made us in His image. And then I was just standing there thinking to myself, what a powerful thing. Just those couple of words of knowing, because it wasn't like, I made you in my image, the way you would think in a movie. It was just the answer to something I was saying that was almost like a question, but it really wasn't a question. It was a doubt. I'm just a man. So here's what I got out of that. The image of God. What would we do? What would we give up to be closer to God? Whew, that's a big one, right? But we have been created in the image of God, the most powerful being in the universe. And then I was standing there thinking to myself, children, they put on masks and little uniforms during Halloween to look like superheroes. I look like a superhero. I was created in the image of God. And then these thoughts, these wordless words just kept coming into my heart. All things are afraid of you because you were created in the image of God, in the image of the ultimate, highest superhero, in essence. Think about that. If we could for just a moment embrace the gift of life that we have been given by our Creator. And He created us in the image of Himself and sent us here to this world and put us over all creatures. If we could just embrace that for a moment, I don't know that the average person could even handle it, but just for a moment I thought, oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you, God. You created me in the image of you and empowered me with the same understanding and strength that you have. But I turn away from it. We all turn away from it because the doubter comes in and says, you can be great just like him, and starts twisting and spinning the truth. And that's where it gets really interesting. Because then I heard a saying one time, who are you going to trust, me or your lying eyes? And I thought, wow. But what an interesting thought that is. Now, let me digress for a moment. Everybody in here watch the State of the Union? And if you didn't, you need to go watch it out there at home. Because I didn't get to watch it on the evening that it played. I had to watch it. I actually watched it on Friday night while I was on a layover in Seattle. And I'm sitting there with tears running down my face on occasion, thinking, and I'm not a crier. You guys know, I've talked about it before. I'm not a crier. But every so often in life, you get touched. And I didn't sit there and cry like a babbling fool, but I'm wiping the tear every now and then, thinking to myself, thank you, God, for this strong man that is running our country right now. Is he perfect? Hell no. We all know that. But that's what makes it so perfect. God is using this regular, everyday, work-a-day sinner Joe to do his work, to change this world. But remember what I said about who you're going to believe, me or your lying eyes? That's the devil speaking. Because my eyes witnessed what you guys all witnessed, with the Democrats sitting there and their ruler, the evil ruler behind him while he was speaking. And at one point, I hope you guys all saw, she went, because somebody started to heckle from her demons, her legion of demons. And they all silenced. But they all sat there in total silence while a tear is running down my face from what I'm witnessing. They sit there in silence, like nothing at all was happening. And I thought, what kind of human beings could sit there when the President of the United States or the President of any country or a man of any kind is talking about good things that are happening in this world today? In a world that is at war, a perilous world, and good things are happening. Unemployment is down. People are making more money. Good things are happening, yet they sit there. And they're shaking their head, no, no. And I say to you, who are you going to believe? Me or your lying eyes? And the funny thing is that if you believe him, then your eyes will lie to you. But I was watching, and I know what I saw with my eyes, that other team, that other side, the other side that sat there while he was doing good, God's work. They sat there and looked away. The old biddy sat there and chewed her cud, and then she tore his good and threw it aside. And one time, I don't know if you saw it, but she went like this at him. What wickedness, guile. So I'm not gonna believe the liar. I'm going to trust my eyes because they don't lie to me. My eyes don't lie to me. I see what I see, and I know it to be true, and I will not doubt it. So that liar, that doubter inside of me, will not make me believe him and try to make me think my own eyes lie to me. My eyes don't lie to me. I know what I saw, and I hope that you all know what you saw. And you know what? I think, wow, if I say these things, I'm saying them for all eternity, because that's how it works these days. And what happens if one of my friends sees this, who's on that other team? I say, go back to hell where you came from, because I don't care. Because all it takes for evil to prevail in this world is for good men to do nothing. I'm a good man. I'm not going to do nothing. I last night wrote a letter to my friend who is the Undersecretary of State, and I said, I realize you have a lot on your shoulders, and I want you to know that I'm here to help you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. I will do whatever you need. If you call upon me, I stand ready. I salute you. I thank you for your service. With honor and respect, Alan Masters. I know that all it takes in this world for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. But what we're all witnessing is all it takes for good to prevail is for one good man to do something. And look what's happening in this world. One man who is a sinner, not perfect, made mistakes, and he admits to it. I saw him the other day. I've made mistakes. I've done a lot of wrong things. But look what happened, he said. Acquitted. Of course he was acquitted. We knew he would be acquitted. It wasn't even news, because they want us to believe our lying eyes, that our lying eyes are lying. But our lying eyes are not liars. Our eyes are the window to the soul. And if they can get you to glaze over your eyes with some crazy thing they tell you, all of a sudden you have the world we just came out of. I said it last week, and I'm going to say it again. We are watching an epic movie unfold. We are living in the days things movies are going to be made of. It's happening right now. I mean, I woke up this morning and my wife shows Donald Trump with the, North Korean President Kim? And they said, somebody was saying, this guy likes to be underestimated. And I've heard that before from wise business people. I love it when somebody underestimates me. Because while they're sitting there spinning their wicked web, I'm seeing the whole thing go on and I'm saying nothing. You know, there's an old saying, 2 ears and 1 mouth, use them in those proportions. Listen more than you speak. Today it's my job to speak, but I've been quiet for a long time in my life about all these subjects. But as I realize all it takes in this world for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing, all it takes for good to win is for one good man to stand up. But what happens if 2 of us and 3 of us and 5 of us and 50, 50,000, 50 million? What if everyone stood up together and squashed that evil? That's what's happening. We're seeing that happen. So guess what? You got to gamble it all on one game of pitch and toss, and this is it right now. Rudyard Kipling's poem, If. I'm gambling everything I have on one game of pitch and toss, and right now, this is it. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to allow evil to prevail in my life. I'm not going to allow evil to prevail in this world. I'm going to stand up and be heard. And I'm going to stop believing the doubter inside of me when he tells me my eyes are lying. What an amazing thing. And it's so true. Because every now and then you watch TV and you go, well, he did do some of those rotten things. And then I heard in my voice, in my own side of my own soul, he who is without sin cast the first stone. That little saying has lasted 2,000 years. Think of that. Think of it if you were to utter one sentence that the world would know for thousands of years that would strike home so easily. He who is without sin cast the first stone. Wow. So guess what, all of you haters, all of you Trump haters, he who is without sin cast the first stone. If you ever have a hope to be used for anything good, you better realize that casting stones is only putting stones on your own grave. So I come back to, I don't want to be here. I want to be here, but now I want to be here for the right reasons. So the little spoiled brat that did not want to be here didn't win, but he's won many times. This time I realize it isn't about want. It's about knowing that it's the right thing to do. I am compelled to be here. I am compelled to be here by my Father who is in heaven. So I don't care what the side of me that wants and doesn't want. I don't care what it says. I don't care what it wants. I'm not controlled by that any longer. I was created in the image of God. And if I embrace that, nothing can hurt me. I embrace that today, and I know that I want to do His work by the name of His Son, Jesus Christ. And I'm willing to know and understand that I cannot know and understand all things. But in the moment I will need it, it will be there. That's called faith. Somebody said the other day, you buy a puzzle in a box. You buy a puzzle in a box, you have enough faith to know that all the pieces are going to be there, right? Then why shouldn't we also know that some toy maker can put all the pieces of the puzzle in that box? Why shouldn't we know that our Creator won't put all the pieces of the puzzle of us together if we have the same faith we have in the toy maker? I have that faith. So I move forward knowing that He will add to me each piece of the puzzle of my life as I walk through the journey of my life. But if I don't know, if I doubt, if I am told that I have lying eyes, and I believe that because I doubt myself, I doubt my Creator, I doubt all the things that I've been taught all my life by my Father, the good man that He is, then I'm a fool. And I don't want to be a fool anymore because I've spent enough time being a fool and cohabitating with a lot of fools. And now I just want to live my life by example, that the example was set by our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, that it can be done, that we can have total forgiveness and understanding of what is happening, empathy in this world, and be on the world but not affected and be of the world. And we can follow what is put in our hearts by our Father in heaven. Again, I'll say it, we were created in His image, and He put His understanding in our hearts. He put His knowing in our hearts. And I find that I have more joy with less things in my life than I've ever had, because I'm free from all the things. I'm free from desire. I'm free from want. That word want. I don't want to be here. And I didn't. I saw it. I knew it. I didn't want to be here. It's not something I want to do. I know I have to do it. So I was doing it out of obligation. My father asked me to help him, so I will. Guess what? I tripped and fell face first into our Creator. And I met him face first because he knew what I needed. He knows that I have an honorable heart and that I want to do the right thing. And at first, out of obligation, because I want to help my father, I can see my father has done good and that he's helped many, many people. I read these amazing posts that you folks leave on his Facebook page and on the YouTube channel, and incredible love that you have for him. And I thought, I want to keep that alive. I want to keep that alive. I had to give up a lot to do that, a lot of my worldly life. But I really didn't have happiness. I thought I did. Like I said before, I've created this beautiful image of what I thought a beautiful life looked like. And under the underpinnings of it was built on honor and integrity and love. But I can add to it now true joy, true happiness, that I had no idea what that was before. So, you know what they say, fake it till you make it? There's some truth to that. I mean, because until we have the true understanding of life and understanding of what the foundation of human understanding is all about, you cannot leave all that behind. So you have to fake it a little bit till you make it. And I think that's perfectly okay, because you can't, of yourself, you can do nothing. So all you can do is move in that direction. And as you're moving in that direction, you'll have a million on top of a million chances to do things right and wrong. Mostly we do wrong. Mostly we go, dang it. I wish I could have done that better. I wish. Now I'm so tired of wishing I could have done it better. I just say, I'm going to do it better. And I make the right choice. And it's not as hard as I thought it would be. I think Yoda said, do or don't do. There is no try. And it's a movie character, but it's the truth. I used to tell my dad, I'm trying. He'd say, stop trying and do. I was like, I can't. I don't know how to do. I'm just trying. Well, you have to struggle. That's the struggle of life. That's the chicken inside the egg trying to... Imagine waking up, the little chicken waking up inside of an egg going, oh my God, I'm trapped in here. And struggle. And then he's like, I got to kick my way out. That's where most of us are. We're at that stage where we're awake, we're aware. We've woken up from the sleep, the hypnosis of life. We've woken up, but we're in an egg. We're in an egg we've created for our own selves. People, places, friends, houses, cars, perceptions, clothing, whatever, the jewelry, all the things that are encapsulating you in your old world. It's time to kick your way out if you have to. Now, you don't have to kick your way out. You can open the hatch and crawl out of that crazy world we've created. And I just think, man, the metaphor of the egg, it's so real. We create this crazy and encapsulated world that we're comfortable in. But one day when you wake up and you realize there's got to be more to life than having a nice house, a car, a nice this, a nice that, a nice clothing, nice ties, nice jackets, whatever it is, tennis shoes. The list could go on, all the things that the layers of life we layer on top of ourselves. There's more to life than that once you've had it all. So I'll stop right there and leave that hanging. I went to a talk for wealthy people in Park City, Utah. I was the first guy to talk. All it takes in the world for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. Again, but all it takes for good to prevail is for good men to do something. So I knew I was going to talk. I flew all the way there to talk, and then the next day I had to get on an airplane and go to Chicago earlier this week. I knew I was going to have about 10 minutes. You can't say much in 10 minutes. But you can, can't you? It just depends on what you say. So I was watching. What is God going to have me say? What is God going to have me say? I didn't say, I think I'm going to say this, I think I'm going to say that, I think I'm going to say this, I think I'm going to say that, I think I'm going to say this. Because that's what the mind does. The flotsam and jetsam wants to make this man look as good as he can. Ego. So, like today, I didn't wear my tie. I think I was pretty much wearing this. And we were in a big living room of a giant mansion on top of the mountain in Park City, Utah, overlooking all the ski lifts. Everybody had paid a sizable amount of money to be there. And I thought, what's God going to say today? What's God going to use me for today? I changed up the whole thing that you do when you're supposed to give a talk to people about. The theme was, and he says to me, don't tell them, because I haven't announced the theme. This is the guy running the show. The theme is how to build a legacy. And I went, oh, okay. He goes, but don't say anything. And I'm like, he goes, but if you can make it lean that way. And I said, well, there's your theme, God. So that was like 1 minute before I was supposed to go on. So he introduced me as this highfalutin guy with all this knowledge and wisdom, and that I'm such a professional. I'm on television and radio for 30 years, this, that, and the other. And I'm listening to this going, such a professional, such a pro. And I thought to myself, I'm just going to go up there and be me. I'm just going to go up there and say what God compels me to say. So when he called my name, I went up there and everybody clapped, and I sat in a chair and I looked at him and I said, what's it all about? What is it all about? Why are we here? What are you doing this for? What do you want in the end? These are all things we have to think about. And I went on to talk for about 10 minutes about what's it all about. These are all wealthy people. And I said the same things. Once you've got the nicest house, like this one, once you've got 2 or 3 fancy cars, all the other things that you want, what does all that really matter? So why are you really here? What will your legacy be? And it's really an interesting thing to think. What do you want out of life? What do you really want out of life? Does any of us really give that much thought? Or do we just live to the next meal, to the next thing we can conquer in business, person we can overcome with our strength and our willpower and to make us feel better about ourselves? Or what is it really all about? And why am I here? Isn't that what it says at the beginning of all these talks? Why am I here? We all have a purpose, every single one of us. And if we deny that purpose, then we don't get to experience the kingdom of heaven. I believe that. If we only live a selfish, self-righteous life of sin, we don't get to experience the kingdom of heaven, because that's not why we're here. We are here to help save souls. God made us in his image, put his love encompassing all things about life, all the knowledge, all the wisdom encompassed in that one word, love, because you're supposed to use everything you learn in your life to love other people. Sometimes it's tough love. Sometimes it's gentle love. Sometimes it's knowing how to say no. Sometimes it's saying yes when you don't want to. Because you have to also recognize that even though you're made in the image of God, God also gives you freedom of choice. You can kill your own baby, or you can love someone else's baby. My wife showed me a story. Actually, my brother Michael shared it. A story of a woman who, she had a 14-year-old boy, and some other 14-year-old boy killed him in cold blood to prove that he was a man to his gang. And the mother went to the court when they caught the kid, and he was convicted. He was only 14 years old. He was convicted and go to jail, and a few months after he was in jail, the mother of the kid that was killed went to visit the murderer, this other little 14-year-old boy who had grown up on the streets and didn't really have anybody. And after he was convicted, I forgot one little piece. It's very interesting. The boy that was the murderer was walking by the mother who had lost her son. And she stood there crying, and she says, "I'm going to kill you." And I remember thinking to myself, wow, that's pretty heavy. And then he was in jail, and she went and visited him. And she talked to him, asked him some questions, and then left. And a few months later, she came back again, talked to him some more, asked him how it was going in jail, and they had a conversation. And this kept going on, month after month, year after year. And he finally had served his time, because as a child, you don't serve as much time when you do something wrong like that. But he eventually got out, I think, on his 18th birthday. And so she went to visit him the day before he was about to get out, and she says, "What are you going to do?" He says, "I don't know." She says, "Well, I have some friends that have a factory, and maybe I can help get you a job." And he says, "Wow, that would be amazing." See, the boy had nobody in his life. Nobody came visit him because he had nobody. Not even the gang members wouldn't come to visit him. But the mother of the kid he murdered, because that was her only son, came and visited him. Then she says to him, "Well, where are you going to live?" He says, "I don't know. I don't have anybody. I don't have any money. I don't have anything." And she says, "Well, you know, I have a house and I have an extra bedroom. Maybe you could live with me." And he said, "Wow, that would be great." So he got out of jail, and he went to live with this woman who he had killed her son. And he was living with her for a year or so. And one day she said, "I need to speak to you." So they went in and sat down in the living room, and she said, "You know, remember when you were convicted and I said, 'I'm going to kill you'?" He said, "Yeah, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that." She says, "Well, I want you to know, that boy that killed my son, I killed him." She says, "Because he's no longer there." That's the love we need to have for others. That's the love we need to have.